and that has really inspired you and motivated you to be in some action, right?
Yes.
It happens in one's life, isn't it?
Yes.
May not be a teacher, maybe a senior, maybe your uncle or somebody, but we don't acknowledge. And that's not in our culture, right? So why we don't acknowledge?
Maybe ego.
Very good. Maybe ego, because when you acknowledge that person is greater than you, right? That's a basic problem. What else? What else? Why we don't acknowledge? That's a shelter we take it. I mean, there's nothing like communication. No? You can't say those words. It's only a shelter we take.
Sir, and it is like telling the same thing again. I mean, we know that he is great. Actually, we might respect him within ourselves, and it might be like, I mean, the same thing, sir. Repeating it in front of others, so that we might get, I mean, something good out of it.
Something
good out of it means.
You may take it in negative ways.
I mean, it is like also
buttering. See, if you are coming from that kind of imagination, that if I acknowledge him, it will be appearing to others as a buttering, it will appear. Because what you give it to the world, it will give you back. It's as simple as that. And when that thought itself has come, your conversation will get into that mode. And that will appear to everybody as that way only. But when you are going with an empty mind and true acknowledgement, and everyone will perceive that way only. One or two fellows who are not listening, only hearing, they might say you are doing buttering. But idea is, it doesn't go that way. So we don't do it because he is great, you become small. When you praise the other person, you become small. And that's not so. That's not a reality. When you acknowledge the human being, he'll relate to you much more greater than what you are before. You are the person. I mean, who is the other person is you in disguise. Who is the other person is you in disguise. Because the way you look at him, he'll give you back the same thing. And if you relate to the person as an extraordinary human being who is really stand for something, he's a real contributor. If you stand to that person and you relate to him that way, he'll behave with you that way only. I'm telling you, it will happen. It's not necessary that you need to mistrust every human being. If you trust human being, he'll trust you. You must have heard about the books, no? I am okay, you are okay.
Yes.
But ultimately, what you get is the same sentence. Who is the other person is you in disguise. How Gandhiji could relate to all 40 crore human beings on this in India? Because he related to himself something. And he never looked in disguise with other human beings. And while taking actions, we have number of reasons not to take action. What are those reasons?
Risk the future.
So that's
Risk
not
of
my
losing
job.
the job.
That's not my job.
Yeah, it's
Being
not my
honest.
job. Why should I take a stand for it? What else?
Time.
Time is, yes, that's a very, very important thing. But what's your name?
Shashank.
Shashank, you also have 24 hours. And one
The
more
other
thing also
person
has
has
24 hours. Yes. And also
Every person,
every person.
every living being has 24.
Every human being has only 24 hours. But we have a concern for time also. Right? No, Manmohan Singh also has a concern for time. It's not that he doesn't have concern. But you think Shashank should have the concern?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
You
of
should
course.
have concern, but you should also have a concern to create time for everything. And can you create that?
You can only manage time productively.
Just tell me. See, I spend 2 hours reading the newspapers in the morning. And after that, that news is not sufficient for me. I'll put on the TV and watch for another 1 hour reading news. And automatically in that process, tea will go inside, breakfast will go inside. Poor fellow, my wife, she keeps feeding me. 3 hours I'll be sitting ideally in the drawing room. And it may be my necessity. I'm willing to spend that time. But if I want to create time, what do? I should wake up at least 1 hour in advance. If I have to create time. Or I should cut down out of 3 hours at least 1 hour. We can create the time for everything. And any big reason, having no time. What are the other reasons in your life for not taking the stand for the nature conservation? Laziness. I mean, switching off the fan, also going to that side is a big time consuming or big unconcerned thing, right? Laziness, yes.
We ignore the things, sir.
Ignore the things. Not sensitive about it. So any big reason, any big reason is not equal to doing the things, isn't it? Any big reason is not equal to doing the things, right? But we correlate that reason equal to I have no time. That's why I am not done. That means actually done. For you, it's actually done. Isn't it? You correlate that way and take a justification and protection under that umbrella. I have no time. Do you? Any circumstance in which you said there's no time for me?
Yes, sir, there were many. Yes, sir, there were many.
There are many. One
Exams, sir. And we do ignore to study like, well before the exams, and we say the same thing.
There's no time.
Yes, sir.
So not
Not now, but we used to do the same thing.
not now. We are matured now.
Yeah.
And putting that energy on something else. So any reason. So any great reason is not equal to what you want to do, but you take the protection under that reason, and you feel that that reason is equal to having done the things. Yes? Do you feel that? So can you give up that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Give up those reasons?
Now we do.
Huh?
Yes,
So
sir.
now we have to.
We have to is what? Sometime later.
Yes, sir, we will.
We?
Yes, sir, we will.
We will.
We must.
Yes, sir, we must.
We have.
We are giving up.
We are giving up. No, we have developed such a habits and inculcated such a. We will do someday. एक दिन हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन. इंदा क्या मानो नो?
We have Geo
So that kind of thing. No, that's better I think. हम होंगे कामयाब is something
negative.
only a wish sometime later. We don't want to become कामयाब today. हम होंगे कामयाब एक. And we don't know when that दिन will come. When will it come? When will it come?
When
Huh?
you realize,
When we want to.
when you realize the thing and
Become a
start
today.
doing the same thing. When you realize and start.
When we realize that we have to become Buddha or something. When we realize, that's also a wish.
When we become Kamyab today.
Yeah, now. Right? So life is a function of
Today.
Past, present, future.
Function of time.
Function of
Function of time, sir.
function of now.
Now, present.
What do you understand by that? Life is a function of now.
And what you do now will guide life. I
Will
mean,
lead to the future.
that will give you a value to the life.
So every movement use truthfully, right? Every movement live, that's all. And what do you live for? The stand what you have taken for.
Goal.
It's not that you don't have family or you don't have anything, only nature is there. But that's one of the stands which you have taken, right? The way you take stand for your wife or your parents or your children, we can also take stand like this. No? And even if one or two of you can take it as a stand, it will turn around your companies wherever you work, isn't it? And that company will turn around 100 more companies. Yes. Small action in Singareni. I was working as a Singareni collier's company. So what I said, whatever you give it to the world, so even that human being will give you the same. Right? You said you have taken a stand for love for what? You said love.
For human beings.
Pardon?
Love for human beings.
Okay. So when you take that stand, everyone around you will be liking you. Not that you are loving everybody. Actually, everyone will start liking you. Will it happen like that or not?
Yes, sir.
And we tend to ignore because loving every person is such a burden. Right? Loving means, I mean, saying good words also about that person is a loving thing, right? But if we say good words, we lose our ego. We become small. Is that so? Actually, we grow. But unfortunately, I don't know why we started thinking on those lines. And I don't know what makes us to think in that direction. Not appreciating the other person's greatness.
Because we think we are great
Yes.
than anybody else.
So the real leadership lies in making other person present to their own greatness. You people coming all the way from SK and sitting here and learning about the nature, that is the spirit with which you came. Other forces are distracting you, I know. But you know, that's why I acknowledge you in the beginning itself, that stand that you have taken. There are many things that are attracting you here, but in spite of that, you have chosen to be here, right? Because that you have really stick to your goal, what you have come for. Yes? So acknowledging people, anybody in your life, they won't forget you for the rest of life. That's the way you should acknowledge. And just by one phone call, they'll give you their life also, if you want. Yes?
Yes.
And finally, we know a lot of things, isn't it? We know a lot of things about nature. Many people know it actually. Is it not? Even that IAS officer also knows that parents should not be thrown out of the house. Doesn't he know?
He knows.
So knowing, does it make a difference? What will make a difference?
Action.
So actions will make a difference. And those actions will lead to the results. And finally, what you will be known for is what you are leaving behind. When you go out of this, what you leave behind is only achievements. Nobody will remember how good looking you were and how better dressed you were, right? Only thing you remembered for is what you left in on the planet or for other human beings. What do you leave for other human beings?
A good society, a good nature.
Okay. What else? Die, some people really start feeling it, and how affectionate he was, how lovable he was so suggestive, he was so advising, and when some people die, nobody will bother also, right? So ultimately, what we are here for is to make a difference in other people's life, right? And also on the planet. And that's what is finally leadership. Leaders are only remembered, right? So leadership is one thing, making other person present to their own greatness. That's basically acknowledging what they are stand for. And once you acknowledge, they will follow you. And that's what leaders want, no? Followers, right? I mean, not necessarily follow behind you, but supporting you in your ideas. It could be boss, it could be anybody. It need not be తోగబట్టుకొని వచ్చేవాళ్ళు కాదు ఇయల్ రేపు ఉండే లీడర్ల చుట్టూ తిరిగేవాళ్ళు. Whoever is supporting your idea. And leader is one who is expressing himself in any circumstance. Boss will say that thing, this thing, all those conversations will stop you. And if you are stopped by that, you're not a leader. Right? When you're taking a stand for something, and unless you express, other people will not know it, isn't it? And if you're taken to stand for yourself and you cause in yourself, you cannot be leader, no? You can be a human being, that's all. But when you want to become a leader, you have to express and motivate others to follow what you are standing for. When you share only, then only they'll know you. And that's what's it. When you share to the universe will share it. Same thing for you. Isn't it? Then only the leadership will emerge. How the Sundarlal Baguna has come, how the Medha Patkar has come. Because they've shared continuously what they are standing for. You heard about Medha Patkar, no? So what is her stand?
Narmada.
Narmada Bachao. What she does?
She is fighting for the landowners who had the land,
Who lost the land?
who lost the land.
So she also knows that there is a government to take care. Why I should struggle? She also knows that, right? But having taken a stand, she is a stand for the cause of the poor people, or for the biodiversity, whatever it is, for tribals. And in that cause, she is making a difference, isn't it? And unless she expresses, nobody will know her, no? So you expressing yourself, whatever you are standing for, in a clear and fullest of expression, right? Come what may. Struggle actually. When you need to survive, there's a struggle there, isn't it? And inside the struggle, we may achieve, we may not achieve. But idea is, you achieving with lot of ease and grace in your life is important, isn't it? This is not the only thing in life. There are many stands which you have to take. And every stand you need to be a leader. And leader is one who is known for producing the results. Isn't it? So I'll end here. If anything is there, you can ask me. You can ask me over the lunch also.
Himself. He is an IFS officer, forest service officer, now conservator of forest.
Chief Conservator.
Chief conservator of forest. And then he is leading this climate change center at the MCRHD and disaster both centers at the, that is highest academy in the state. Not only for that, but IAS officers also get trained. Sir has recently conducted training for one batch of that IAS cadre. And he worked on all the areas of watersheds and you say forest, then disaster. Krishna River floods, he is the person who had been controlling that whole disaster that happened in 2009. You know, the biggest disaster happened, so he was there. So like that he has been dealing with so many things. Apart from that, dealing with human beings also. Job is one part, but people. And today, thank you very much, sir, that you are here, and your presence has made lots of change, that energized, and it is only out of love that you are here. We know that very much. Otherwise, for a bunch of few guys coming all the way from there, even before you, You got it?
Yes, yes.
You got happily with songs and so many things in life. So sir came almost like he is one of the first person. So we thank you very much, sir, for being with us. And definitely this is not the end of because especially this Geo Spirit also we started as an initiative the first time, and this the club of ISKI has joined, and they have volunteered to come here. This is not a regular class, not a marks class, nor passing class. This is ultimately life, and definitely wish them that they and this is beginning, and now we got demands from other places also, like Dharwad next month they are planning now after telling about our initiative here. So we can go on creating. This is not religion, this is not anything sectoral or anything geographically, any area related. It's only you yourself, but how do you get connect not only with humans but with everything. So within that leadership is the theme. That is one aspect. So next time if we conduct another Geo Spirit, we can have here freedom and leadership for the two main which we focus because it represents from our chart. Next time we have other aspects because these are not the only two things. Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes,
And
thanks for the opportunity. I mean, the opportunity has come for interacting with so many people and who are committed for the cause of the environment. I mean, I feel great having come here, right? And I have a suggestion for you people. Probably you can ask ISKI to conduct a 1-week program as a part of your regular education program, your regular training program, to look at the natural resource management and social infrastructure in the rural social infrastructure or rural infrastructure as a part of your course. You can stay 1 week in the village and study the rural infrastructure, how is it, and from the nature's angle, what is that contribution that you can make. That will be giving you huge insights to you in contributing. Ultimately, one has to be living the nature-friendly way only. Otherwise, there is no survival. And that will be the future game definitely for your generation. It has to be that game only.
now the time is around 2:15, and all your phone calls, the lengthy phone calls, while having lunch, you finish off. Okay? Anything